Hello again. This is actually a second video at Green Slate, but I just want to tell you something I think is interesting. I'm in the woods a bit, walking along this stream. I was here once, like last, I don't know, let's say last June or so, and I met someone who used to work for my granddad. Work for or work with. It was so cool. It was one of those moments. You know, when you have something meaningful, like a meaningful interaction or a meaningful realization. I was going along here. I think I was with my children, had my children with me. There was a man with a dog, and then we stopped. I think he invited us to interact with the dog, or one of my children asked if they could touch the dog, something like that. And then he started talking. And the thing is, in Wigan, you can talk to people. It's totally normal. You can just talk to someone randomly. It happens all the time. So in a lot of other parts of the UK, people are more reserved and they don't talk to strangers so much. And I've lived in places like that. Remember when my dad went down to London and stayed with my sister there years ago, and him and my mum went for a walk along the river one morning, and my dad came back. He was almost in tears. He was so offended and upset that no one had even smiled or said hello to him the whole walk. They'd been out for 45 minutes, hour walk along the Thames. And by the time they got back, no one had even smiled back to him or made eye contact. And it was he just couldn't imagine. He couldn't believe it, that could be true, because it's just not like that here. Like in Wigan, which is where my dad was from, people smile to you usually when you go past each other, even teenagers. So it's great. You can strike up a conversation with anybody, usually. Can't say anybody, but most people are up for having a chat. And a lot of them are very funny as well. The locals can be really, really funny. So yeah, back to the point, back to the story. We were here, we met this person, and he said something when they went to this something, and they parked up the trucks, etc, carried on talking. And then after a bit I said, oh, do you mind me asking, what did you mean when you said trucks? And then he said, oh, the fire engines or whatever. We'd parked up, and then I said, oh, my granddad used to work for the fire service. And he said, oh, did he? I wonder if I knew him, because this man was fairly elderly. And I said the name, Joseph Moss, and he said, yeah, he was one of our chiefs. He was the chief of this area, and then sometimes they used to work under him, and sometimes in the next area. And he was describing the denominations or the sections of the fire service and how it used to run. And he said that he knew Joe Moss, and it was just so exciting. It's just really cool that you could meet somebody. And I just want to talk about loads of tangents now. Once when I was in Bangladesh, we went on a trip up to visit my new sister-in-law's family home as part of whatever. It was really big journey. We got in this minibus for 6 hours. It was a very terrifying journey on the Bangladesh roads. And then when we were almost there, we stopped at a mosque so that some people could use the toilets and stuff. I don't know if they were going to pray or just use the loos or both. And then I saw someone I know. I saw my work colleague who's Bangladeshi, but this was a random part of Bangladesh, 6 hours north of Dhaka. And I was like, stop the van. And everybody thought there was some kind of emergency and stopped the van. And I was like, look, it's Naeem Bhai. And it was him. We had stopped and had a chat with him, and his in-laws live around there. So we met somebody that we know, that I actually know very, very well. I knew him very well at the time. In this place 6 hours from Dhaka in Bangladesh on a holiday. So that kind of thing is really cool when it happens. And it felt like that when we met this gentleman walking along here, walking his dog, and he knew my granddad. It just makes things connected, because things are connected. I feel that everything's interconnected. And when you sort of have these, what you could call synchronicities, it just it's like a little bit of a reminder of how close we are, and how interconnected we can be.